Hello witchy people. So I've decided to do a hashtag question list. Now the idea of this list is you can answer a question a month. You can answer all the questions together. But the same questions you answer a year from now. And see if, you've changed or your practice has changed. So there's 12 questions. As I said, you can do one a month if you want. Pick which month you start from. So I will list all of the questions and I will answer them myself. And if you'd like to join in, just, hashtag this year, next year, witch, and we'll see how we go. So the first question, January. If you could change one thing about yourself, what would it be and why? So for me, the one thing I would change about myself is self-doubt. I'd love to stop that completely because it's very destructive. It makes you second guess yourself all the time, and that's not conducive to a really simple and easy life. You're always looking at, what could go wrong, how it could go wrong, doubting that you'll be able to get things done. So yes, I would like to really, really, really focus on getting rid of that self-doubt. So February, question 2, stand back and look at your practice as an outsider, from an outside perspective. What advice could you or would you give yourself to improve your life or your witchcraft practice? Oh dear, this one was really hard for me. I know, I made the question. It's really hard. I find it very difficult to look at my own life as an outsider looking in. I think sometimes it's because I don't like to. Sometimes I'm afraid of what I might see or of how other people might see me. So maybe the advice I should give to myself is stop caring what other people think. The most important opinion within your craft is yours. Okay, question 3, March. If you could start your practice again, would you change direction? Would you make different choices or hope for a different outcome to where you are today? Now for me, the easy answer is no. I would not change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing in my practice, but I might try to dedicate more time to my practice because at the moment I am not dedicating as much time to my witchcraft practices as I am, or as I would like to. So yes, I think as an outsider looking in, I would say you really need to spend time, working on your practice. And if you want to learn about crystals or learn how to do tarot cards, then you should, take time to do that. Stop talking about it and do it. Okay, question 4, April. What is the biggest influence on your life and how you practice witchcraft right now? Whew. This one, obviously for me right now, is location. Because I have moved, although I'm still in Southampton. Southampton's quite a big city. So I am still in Southampton. I'm in a much more rural part. And because I am now in a different area and I don't have that family unit around me, it's having a huge influence on how I'm practicing, or rather how I'm not practicing right now. So that's the, biggest influence. So May, how do you feel about mystical and possibly mythical creatures, elves, unicorns, dragons, fairies? Do you believe that these things do exist or have existed? If you do, how do you perceive them? What are they? So I think it's really hard to explain. I don't see fairies and elves and gnomes and such like as these, as they're depicted in books, Cicely Barker's flower fairies and all the rest of it. That's not how I see them. But I do think that the energies contained within plants and trees must have some kind of spirit attached. Do you see what I mean? So yes, I think there are things out there that we don't know, that we don't see. But just because we don't know them, we haven't discovered them, or they're hiding from us, doesn't mean to say they don't exist. Okay, June is more about duality. Sort of. Do you think that anyone, is capable of true evil as well as absolute good? In other words, is it possible as well for someone to be only good, wholly good, or wholly evil? This is a question, obviously. I love anything to do with crime and murders and such like. So as a question, do you think that everyone is capable of true evil or absolute good? Yes, of course I do. I am one of the most passive kind of people, but if someone to hurt my children, you'd see a different side of me and I would become violent. Is that evil? No, not necessarily. But would I do evil things to protect my children? Heck yes, I would. And I think there are certain circumstances where good people do evil things and evil people can do good things. But no one is wholly good or wholly evil. I don't think you can live in pure light or pure darkness. I don't think it's possible. I know some people perhaps feel that they do, and that must be an amazing thing but what are you missing out on? You need that duality. You need those separate parts of who you are to know who you are. That's how I feel about that anyway. So July, really quick, easy question. What is your greatest strength? So my greatest strength, I think, is listening. And I know that's really dull and boring, but it is. And my greatest strength is to be able to listen to people, and in a lot of cases to know when to say the right thing. Perhaps it's the way I was brought up. If you haven't got anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. Or, sometimes it's best to keep your gob shut than open up and say the wrong thing. But throughout my life, I've been quite blessed, I suppose you could call it, with being able to say the right thing to people when they need it. And I think that is one of my greatest strengths. Possibly. That's how I feel now. Anyway, so August, what should you be cutting out of your witchcraft practices or your path? What is holding you back? I think what I should be cutting out is deferring things for tomorrow. And that is what I am holding me back right now. I am feeling very timid and not sure of my place because I don't know the area in which I live. And I feel, because I'm new to this area, I feel very dependent on other people, and I don't like that. I'm not the most independent person, but I don't like to feel dependent on others. It's just not something that I feel comfortable with. So what is I am holding me back right now. I am the one who is not making the effort. And cutting out that laziness, I think, would be a true benefit to my practice and how I feel right now. Okay, September. Obviously, September, we talk about harvest. What are you doing to reap the best from your witchcraft? What are you gathering emotionally, mentally, physically, or actually to sustain your faith or your spirituality? And once again, this question floored me. And I wrote it down and then I thought to myself, how the heck am I going to answer this? What am I doing? I think not a lot, to be honest, at the moment. To be honest, I'm living day to day at the moment. I am not, my tooth feels weird. I'm not banking things for the future. At the moment, I am not reaping what I've sown either, because I kind of let everything slide, and it's really making an impact on me now. When you don't witch as often as you should witch, and for me it is a constant thing, but when you don't put that energy and that focus into your witchcraft practice and being a witch, you may not feel the repercussions of that straight away, but somewhere along the line it is going to start to really notice, and I am noticing that now. And I think what I need to be doing is gathering emotionally, mentally I really need to get my head around where I am. Physically, I need to get my head around where I am. Actually, I need to get my head around getting a space sorted for myself and investing that time in myself. So at the moment, I'm not doing what I should be doing to reap the best from my life in general. And that needs to change. So hopefully when I redo this next year, it'll be something totally different. So, okay, October. Just throwing this one in here. Do you think that we all have the ability to contact spirit, contact the dead? Is this perhaps suppressed by some people? Is it something you're born with? Is it an ability you can learn? You know, and be taught? Now, here's the thing. I do think that we are all blessed with the ability in some way or another to be able to contact the spirit world. Whether we choose to or not, I think a lot depends on, first of all, how we feel about it, how we've been raised. You know, certain belief systems don't like the idea of contacting the dead. It's wrong. It's an evil thing to do. But so I think in some ways we do suppress it. I'm not saying everyone's born with it, and yes, I am saying everyone is born with it. But it's something that you have to tap into. So in that sense, yes, it can be taught, and yes, it can be learned, because you can learn to tap into that part of your psyche that can open itself to other realms. So yes, I think we're born with it. I think everyone is it starts off on an equal footing. I think also what kind of soul you have, what kind of spirit you are, can denote how you communicate with other realms, as well as when you want to, whether it's safe for you, that sort of thing. Okay, November. Are your family supportive of your lifestyle? And bearing that in mind, who or what is family to you? So I can't say that my family is necessarily supportive. My husband can be very supportive. my immediate family, yes, they can be supportive. Certainly they don't denounce me for being a witch. It's not something that, you know, they try to hide. It is just who I am. Who or what is family? Family are the people that mean something to you. Family are the people and the animals, the souls you surround yourself with, that you have a connection to. Whether that be by blood, by emotionally. You know, I mean, we do make our own families for the most part. I mean, we leave our families that we grew up with and we go and make another family. But within that family is also included people. For me, it's people like Miss Lizzie. Now, Miss Lizzie, I've known for nigh on 30 years, I think. It must be nigh on 30 years. And she is family. Her family accept me as family, and my family accept her as family. There is no blood connection there, as far as I know, but we are family. So I think, yes, to a certain degree, you can pick your own family, but are they supportive? If they are supportive, then they're true family, you know. And if they're not supportive, I think sometimes we've got to have a little bit of understanding that witchcraft isn't acceptable to every faith and every lifestyle and every walk of life. And although for instance, our parents or our brothers and sisters, our siblings may love us, they may find it hard to accept the beliefs that we have, the spirituality that we have. It doesn't mean to say they're not family or that they don't love us. It's just that they have a hard time accepting it, and give them a bit of slack, really. Last question, on to December. Why are we here? Okay, it's not so much a question of the actual meaning of life. I'm not trying to be so profound. But more of a questioning of, could there be an answer to everything, a reason for being? And I think, yes, there has to be some sort of reason for being, and we may not know what it is until after we die. And you know, but surely there has to be something. It can't just all be. See, the thing is, obviously I was brought up understanding a little bit about a lot of religions, so I find it very difficult to accept that a supreme being made the earth that we live in. And, you know, a few thousand years ago, I'd find that very hard to accept. I do think we've been here for billions of years, and we will be here for trillions and billions of years to come. As in the universe, not humans, not life as we know it. And if there isn't an answer to everything, a reason for being, then there should be. You should have a reason for being. Whether that is to love or to produce art or to sing or to dance or to help someone, there should be a reason for being. Even if it is that simple, helping an old lady across the street with her shopping one day. If that's the only reason for being, then that is a reason for being. There has to be something there, because everything has a ripple effect. No matter what you do, it will affect something else, which will affect something else, which will affect something else. And so one little thing that you do can make the world of difference to a whole load of people. So is there a reason for being? Yes. And it may be something really silly, but there is a reason for being. At least that's what I'd like to believe. So there you go. This year, next year, witch. Will you answer the questions? Do you want to do them all at once? Are you going to do one a month? If you do one a month, I'd really like it if you could go in depth into a lot of these questions and really think, because I'm not very good at doing that. If I did that, I would wander off at tangents left, right and centre, and I'm bad enough as it is. So anyway, there we go. I'd really love it for you to join in. I will list the questions below. And don't forget to, if you do it, let me know you've done it, because I'd really like to listen to other people's sort of answers to these questions. And if you don't have a YouTube channel, maybe you should make one and answer these questions. You know who I'm talking about out there. Make a YouTube channel, answer the questions, get people to understand about you, know you. It would be brilliant. Wendy. So there we go. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And like I said, I really do hope that you take part in this little witchy tag. Bye for now, witchy people.